Hello, everybody. How are we doing so far in 2026? I wanted to do something that coordinated with one of the pairs of earrings that I made last time. These, I thought they're so pretty, and that little chain there lends itself very nicely to a bracelet. So I thought we would just go ahead and make a bracelet that will coordinate with those earrings. I'm changing the design just a smidge, um, but for the most part, we're doing it the same way we did the earrings. I'm also changing the way we put the chain together, or the way we put the construction of it, because I found an easier way to do it, a way that I thought was a little bit easier, that didn't require you to think that you needed three hands to put it together. But I'll show you that when we get down here to the mat. One of the beautiful things about this is that it only really requires three components: 20 gauge wire, an assortment of jump rings, and the beads of your choice. It's very straightforward and pretty easy to put together and worth the effort, which is minimal. So I wanted to do that, and I don't know, I might even do a necklace with a slightly different take on these earrings because they're so pretty. Anyway, you'll need your usual tools, your round nose pliers. The barrels are round all the way around. They start larger at the bottom and taper up to a point near the tip, or almost a point. You have your square pliers, which are slightly rounded on the outside and flat on the inside. When you go to buy these in the store, make sure that they don't have those little grips on the inside or ridges, because those will damage your wire. And then we have wire cutters that are just that. They're going to cut the wire that we're going to use today. Then again, I mentioned that we have an assortment of jump rings, and I will go into that more in a minute. Now, I wanted to say this. The pattern that I used is a traditional, um, was it? I was going to say jump ring, but that's not chainmail pattern. Please, chainmail people, don't yell at me. I am not using chainmail jump rings, and I'm going to switch up the pattern so I know that it's not a traditional pattern that you would actually see. I'm making it my own. But I did want to mention that because I know some people are going to go, oh, she just ruined the what is it called? Vertebrae. She just ruined the vertebrae pattern. Why would she do that? That's kind of not what it is and kind of what it is. But let's go ahead and get down here to the mat and get started so that you can see what we're going to do. Okay, this is what we're going to be doing for the bracelet. And if you look closely, you'll see that I switched it up a little bit so that the center set of rings is on top of the ones on the sides, whereas with the traditional vertebrae pattern, they're laying one on top of the other. So I switched that up just a little bit because I thought it looked really pretty for a continuous broken up chain. And so that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to grab, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put a loop on one of my ends of my wire, because that way I have something to hold on to my rings with. So what I'm going to do is make a loop. I'm going to show you two different ways to make these loops. If you start with your wire straight and make a loop like so, I'm going to slide my wire down about 1/4 of an inch from the tip so that when I attach it, the loop is big enough to go over 2 jump rings. Oh, and let me explain about these jump rings. The jump rings that you're going to use, the ones for the main links, the smaller one needs to fit inside of the larger one. So in order for that to work, you're going to have to go 2 steps down in your sizing. So you can do an 8 and a 6, or a 10 and an 8, or a 7 and a 5. But just make sure that the smaller one fits inside the larger one. And sometimes when you get jump rings, they're not perfectly cut or aligned. So you want to check your jump rings and make sure that the little opening tips are together and not overlapping in any way. Um, I don't have any that are, or I would show you how to fix that. But if they are at all overlapping, what you can do is just open them up with your pliers, and then open the 2 ends up, pull them slightly apart until the little tips are matching up. Okay. And then the third size of jump ring that you're going to need, that is going to be really small. You just need that to link them together like this. So all you need for that is either a size 4 or 5. Either one of those sizes works just fine to to attach your links to each other. All right, so let's go back to my bead. So all I need for my bead is however much space this bead takes up on the wire, and about a 1/2 inch on each side. Give yourself about 3/4 of an inch if you need to, and then that way you can just cut off what you don't need, but you're better off having a little bit more than you need than not enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you a couple of ways to make these loops. If I start by making my loop and keeping the wire straight, here's what will happen. I'm going to slide my wire about 1/4 of an inch down from the tip. Make sure that the little tip is not sticking out from my pliers. And then I'm going to give it a nice turn to start my loop. And then without without shifting the wire, I'm going to open the pliers up, reposition them, and make another turn. And I'm going to keep doing that until I have a loop. And you'll notice that starting with the wire straight, my loop ends up being a little bit of just a P shape. Now, if you want your loop to be on top of the wire, so it's more like a lollipop, just put your pliers back in and bend that loop back in order to get your lollipop. So that's what I have. The other way, close that, make sure that it's completely closed. The other way is to start with a bend in your wire. I need about a 1/2 inch in order to make my loop. So I'm going to bend that to the side. If you start straight and loop to the side, you're going to end up on the side. But if I start with a side bend and make my loop, it ends up on top. So let's find my 1/4 of an inch or so from the tip. Start my loop, continue my loop until it's closed. And there we go. There's my little lollipop. So that's 2 ways that you can make your loops. Either one is fine and works just as well as the other. Okay, so I've got my little holder that I'm going to use. I'm going to grab 2 of my jump rings. I'm going to place one inside the other. And I'm going to go ahead and attach my little stem here. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that to both of my jump rings. Just slide my jump rings inside the loop of my little wire stem and then close it. And notice how I'm opening and closing to the side. You want to twist it open and twist it closed so that you can maintain the shape. Okay, so there's the first one. Using this to hold on to, I'm going to grab my second one, my second set. Then I'm going to grab a couple of these small ones. Now, what you can do with the small ones is go ahead and get them open, just to open a few of them up so that you don't have to keep picking up and putting down your pliers. So I'm going to grab my jump ring on one side with one of my pliers, and on the other side with my other pair of pliers, and twist it open. Move this down a little closer. Okay, let's do a few more of those. One side with one of my pliers, the other side with the other pair. And twist. Let's get a couple of those ready. Okay, let's put this to the side for now. I think I'm going to need a few more, but I'll go ahead and show you what comes next. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of my jump rings, my small ones, the smallest of the three, and I'm going to slide it over both of my larger jump rings. I'm just calling them small, medium, and large. I think that's easier to refer to. Then I'm going to twist it closed again. You can either use your finger if you're strong enough to do that, or you can use two pliers and twist that closed. Make sure those tips are fitting tightly together. Grab a second jump ring and slide that on the two larger jump rings. Make sure that that small jump ring is not in the way or caught up in this jump ring. They should be two separate places. Okay, so this is what I have so far. And then I'm going to grab my second set of jump rings. Let's open those up. I'm going to slide this large one on both of the small jump rings, like so, and close. Then I'm going to grab the smaller one, the medium-sized one, and slide that into the two small jump rings, like so, and close it up. There we go. So this is what we have so far. Now, I want this to be on top of the other one. So what I'm going to do is flip this over until they're both sandwiched together and slide my small jump rings over to the side, like so. And then pull this second set down, like that. Great. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab another of my smallest jump rings and put it over both of my medium and my large jump ring. Make sure that's nicely closed. Grab the second one and do the same thing. Slide that over both of those jump rings. Again, make sure that other small jump ring is out of the way and doesn't get caught up in this one. There we go. And now it's time to move on to my third set. I'm going to open those up. Oh, and it doesn't matter which order you put the medium and large ones on. That doesn't matter at all. Slide that on both of those little jump rings. Close it. Make sure that those tips are meeting nicely. Slide on the big one over those two jump rings. And close. There we go. Now this one is going to be underneath the center one. So I'm going to flip it over the other way and slide my two jump rings, my tiny jump rings to the side and pull that down there. Oh, it's that one. There we go. So this is what we have for our link, our chain link. And now I'm going to add this guy on. Because if I don't, and I'm fooling around with this, this is going to flip back up. It's not going to stay in place. So you need to make sure that you anchor it. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that on my two jump rings. And close it. All right, let's add some beads. Okay, so I've got these really, really pretty ceramic beads that I'm using for this. So I'm going to go ahead and slide one on one of my little stems here. And I'm going to make a simple loop. I have way more than I needed. I only had an inch and a half. This might be a little more than an inch and a half. And it's way more than I need, but it's better than not having enough. So I'm going to go ahead and bend my wire back because I want it to go the same direction as this other loop. This one's going this way. I want this one to go this way. So I'm bending that back. I'm going to cut that down to about that half an inch. Hold on to that tip here so that it doesn't go flying across the room. Grab my round nose pliers, slide my wire down about 1/4 of an inch from the tip, and make my loop. Just like you did when there wasn't a bead on there. Same thing, but now you have a bead. There we go. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Grab my bead, slide that on, make my loop, bend that back, cut that little tail down to about half an inch. And I'm just eyeballing it. You can measure it if you want. I'm just using my eyes. Make my little loop. And there we have it. Lovely. Let's add another one. Okay. Let's grab another group of these little ones and open them up. And again, you can determine how, you may not know exactly how many you need for your bracelet, but you can open up several of them. You're going to need 4 for each of these wire segments or jump ring segments. So you can open up several of them and then go from there. That way you'll have them all ready to go. maybe just open up 12 of them or 16 of them. That's enough for 4 segments, and then add as you need to, depending on the size of your wrist and how many more jump ring segments you need. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these guys. There we go. And put it on my bead. Put it on my beaded loop. Slide that in there over both of those jump rings and close. Grab 2 of my teeny tinies, slide it over my 2 jump rings and close. Ooh, remember I said sometimes they overlap? This is overlapping good. I can show you what to do. So this one's slightly overlapping. So what I'm going to do is open it up and just kind of wiggle it open a little bit until my little tips are meeting instead of overlapping. There we go. See how this one's doing. Grab the second one and slide that over my 2 larger jump rings. The biggest thing that you need to do here is make sure that you've captured both of your jump rings and not captured your small jump ring. They both need their own space. There we go. Nice. Let's go ahead and grab the next one. Next set. Open them up. And I know I'm going to need a 3rd set, so just to save myself a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and open them up too. There we go. And I don't know if I specified how to open and close a jump ring. And this is good because it's slightly large, so you can really see what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do here is find my opening. This is a fairly large jump ring. When you have something that's, 8 millimeters, that's pretty good size. So I can put my pliers on one side of my jump ring and my thumb on the other side and just push it open, just like that. Makes life easy. All right, so let's go ahead and grab one of my larger jump rings and slide it inside the 2 tiny ones and close it. And the smaller one, the medium sized, grab that one, slide it inside the 2 small jump rings, making sure that the large one doesn't get caught in it, and close. Adjust it until those little tips are meeting just right. There we go. Now check to see which way the others are going. This one's on top. I want this one to be on top. So what I'm going to do is push it or fold it over on top of the other one. Slide my 2 little tiny jump rings to the side like so, and pull those 2 jump rings down so that it's now resting on top of the first set. Grab my jump rings, one of my tinies, slide it on my second set of larger jump rings, close it up, make sure those tips are meeting and not overlap. There we go. Grab that second one and slide it over those two jump rings. And close it up. There we go. And let's get my third set of larger jump rings. Slide one of them in. So, oops, I can see that that's not perfectly closed. Let's fix that before I go any further. There we go. Okay, let's slide that one of these larger jump rings inside my small ones and close it up. And grab the second one, the medium-sized one, and slide it inside the two small jump rings. Get that large one out of there. Close it up. Nice. There we go. And now this one's going to go under the middle one. So fold it under, slide my two side jump rings to the side, and pull this one down. There we go. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Looks like we flipped. No, we didn't. We're good. There we go. There we are. Okay, so there's my chain. So now what I'm going to do, go ahead and attach it to the rest of this one. Yeah, let's attach. Make sure they're all going the same direction. Middle one's on top, 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 and top. And let's just attach everything. So I'm going to open up my loop. Open that up to the side. And slide both of those rings inside my loop. Nope, come on. There, let's check, make sure they're going the right way. And nope, gotta flip it. Gotta get both of those in there. I think I need to open this up just a little bit more. Okay, where are we? Let's go on top there. Sure everybody's resting where they should go. Okay, that goes on top, like so. Slide these over where they're supposed to be, which is on the sides. Oh, come on, get under there. Slide those to the sides. Pull that one down. There we go. And slide that over these jump rings. I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty all of a sudden. Please don't make me put this down again. Get up there. All right. I don't know why it's not cooperating with me. There we go. Got it over the one, over the second one. Check it out. Yes. And close it up. And there we go. There's our chain. And now what you want to do at this point is measure to see if it's going to fit your wrist. And the answer is yes. Yay! Now what do I want to do? You can use a lobster clasp, but you know me. I kind of like to make my own. I kind of like to make my own little um, clasps. So that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is grab a piece of wire, and I only need about 3 inches for that. I'll give myself 3.5. Where's my ruler? Get over here. And then that way I can make sure that I have plenty. Okay. 3.5. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is fold my wire over inch from the tip. Let's make it, I'm going to make it a slightly bigger, about 1.25 inches from the tip. And fold the shorter wire down the side of the longer wire. I'm going to squeeze it as much as I can with my fingers to get those as close together as possible. And then when I can't go any further with my fingers, I'm going to use my pliers to finish that. Finish closing that up. Okay. And then I'm going to go down here to the bottom, and at about 1/2 inch from the bottom, I'm going to lift that wire straight up. So these are side to side, and this is lifted straight up to the ceiling. Then I'm going to grab my square pliers and go down here, right here at the bend, and I'm going to hold on nice and tight to my wires, and I'm going to wrap that short tail around, and that's very short, so you might want to grab your other pliers to guide that wire around the stem. And I only really need one wrap around there. Well, if I can grab it, my goodness, what did I do? Okay, wrap that around. Squeeze that a little closer so I don't have that great big loop. There we go. Squeeze that nice and closed. All right. And when I have that done, push that tip down as close as I can get. There we go. Make sure everything is still side by side. And now I'm going to make a hook. So I'm going to go ahead and go right down here to where my little twist is. I'm going to bend my wire back right above that twist, right there above the twist. I'm going to grab my round nose pliers or your square pliers, whichever one. Let's make sure this is nice and flat here. And right down here at the tip where it's folded, I'm going to put a little bit of a bend, just like that, in my wire. Then I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to slide it back to the back of my pliers. The pliers are right in the middle of the folds. And I'm going to push both ends together with my thumb and forefinger. Just push them together until the wires meet. And there's my little hook. Nice. Then I'm going to make a loop at the bottom that's going to hook into my bracelet, like so. And I don't need a big loop, about 1/2 inch, just like I've been doing with the rest of them. Cut that down to 1/2 inch. Notice how I always hold on to that end because it can go flying across the room and you will be very unhappy about it. Okay, let's make my loop. And there's my hook. Now all I need to do is attach it to my bracelet. Just open that up, slide it inside the other loop. That's next to my bead. And there we go. Now on the other side, it depends. This should be big enough to go through, or this loop should be big enough to hold that. But if you need extra length, then you can add another jump ring. But for my purposes, I'm pretty sure this is going to work. These two lay right there we go. Ooh, I might need that jump ring. I don't like mine to be very loose. So I always try to make it as close. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm putting on my bracelet. So I always try to make it as close to my wrist size as possible. And there it is. There's my bracelet. Isn't that awesome? And it goes beautifully with my earrings. Isn't that neat? I have a matching pair. I don't usually do a lot of matchy stuff. It's just kind of not my thing, but this, so pretty. I really, really love it. All right, there it is. There's our set. I do get requests for matching sets. So I said, okay, this year I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that in some instances, not all, but some instances where I know it'll work out really well. I'll give you a matching set if you would like them. This I really am going to enjoy myself. So anyway, there's our piece. I can sit here and stare at this all. Okay, so here's my little set. I really do like it a lot. I really did something a little different for me because I don't really wear orange, but this really came out beautiful. It's got enough red in it that I can make it work. So I really like this. I hope you like it too. I'm still considering. Let me know if you think I should make a necklace. I might. And it's not going to be exactly like this, but I like this chain. And it's very, we don't really get too many chances to make chains. Well, actually, I take that back. We make lots of chains. We make lots of chains, and I really enjoy making them. And this one's been a lot of fun. It's very, very easy to do. So yes, I did use that word easy, Pat. Get over it. So it is very easy to do, I believe. I'm almost finished. And I hope that you'll do it. Please, please do it. And let me see what you make out of this. And if you have any other suggestions of things that we should make, I'd love to hear that too, because I have a lot of fun making you guys, trying to make you guys happy. It's a lot of fun for me. And I really enjoy your feedback a lot. So if you want to get in contact with me, you can email me at jewelrygen20@gmail.com. That's JEWELRYGIN20@gmail.com. You can leave comments and pictures on the DeKalb County Library Facebook page. That's facebook.com/DeKalb County. No, that's the YouTube page. Facebook.com/DeKalb Library. That's DEKALB Library. Now, the YouTube page needs the whole thing written out. That would be youtube.com/DeKalb County Public Library. So that's DEKALB COUNTYPUBLIC LIBRARY. If you just put DeKalb Library into the YouTube page, you're going to get a library in Illinois, and that's not us. So I hope to hear from you and let me know what you think of this, what you thought of it, if it came across pretty well, if you were if you were successful in making it, or what challenges there might have been with the tutorial. I love to hear it all. I really, really appreciate any feedback, good and bad, so that it just helps me improve if need be. So that said, I hope you have a great week and a great weekend. I hope you'll come back, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.